Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats. Together, let us make a thriving, blossoming future happen with the ASEAN Mentorship for Entrepreneurs Network.
50 years ago, a noble seed was planted, starting out as an alliance for regional security, and it grew into a catalyst for the economy, fertilizing promising industries by cultivating opportunities and fostering connections, nurturing budding enterprises into the towering industry pillars that inspire us today. Now, 5 decades later, they've come full circle to share the abundant wisdom that will shelter promising entrepreneurs from the storm of shifting economies and enable them to succeed so that they too can inspire others and create an environment of prosperity for all. This is AMEN, the ASEAN Mentorship for Entrepreneurs Network, a regional private and public platform that will promote and facilitate the exchange of entrepreneur mentors and best practice training modules for MSMEs. AMEN is ASEAN unity at its finest. Nurture today's generation of hopeful entrepreneurs so that they can turn their enterprises from a sapling into a towering tree of strength and resilience and play a greater role in lifting the people of our region into prosperity. So let this be the foundation as we cultivate connections that strengthen and enrich each other. Let it be the launchpad for prosperity to become more than a dream, but a possibility for everybody. With mentorship and collaboration, let's grow enterprises that will become trees to the economy, resilient, vital resources for the industries of the future. We will make it a certainty with AMEN, the ASEAN Mentorship for Entrepreneurs Network.
And now, it is with honor that we introduce to you the pioneer mentors of the ASEAN Mentorship for Entrepreneurs Network. Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats. Together, let us make a thriving, blossoming future happen with the ASEAN Mentorship for Entrepreneurs Network.
50 years ago, a noble seed was planted, starting out as an alliance for regional security, and it grew into a catalyst for the economy, fertilizing promising industries by cultivating opportunities and fostering connections, nurturing budding enterprises into the towering industry pillars that inspire us today. Now, 5 decades later, they've come full circle to share the abundant wisdom that will shelter promising entrepreneurs from the storm of shifting economies and enable them to succeed so that they too can inspire others and create an environment of prosperity for all. This is AMEN, the ASEAN Mentorship for Entrepreneurs Network, a regional private and public platform that will promote and facilitate the exchange of entrepreneur mentors and best practice training modules for MSMEs. AMEN is ASEAN unity at its finest. Nurture today's generation of hopeful entrepreneurs so that they can turn their enterprises from a sapling into a towering tree of
Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats. Together, let us make a thriving, blossoming future happen with the ASEAN Mentorship for Entrepreneurs Network.
50 years ago, a noble seed was planted, starting out as an alliance for regional security. And it grew into a catalyst for the economy, fertilizing promising industries by cultivating opportunities and fostering connections, nurturing budding enterprises into the towering industry pillars that inspire us today. Now, 5 decades later, they've come full circle to share the abundant wisdom that will shelter promising entrepreneurs from the storm of shifting economies and enable them to succeed so that they too can inspire others and create an environment of prosperity for all. This is AMEN, the ASEAN Mentorship for Entrepreneurs Network, a regional private and public platform that will promote and facilitate the exchange of entrepreneur mentors and best practice training modules for MSMEs. AMEN is ASEAN unity at its finest. Nurture today's generation of hopeful entrepreneurs so that they can turn their enterprises from a sapling into a towering tree of strength and resilience and play a greater role in lifting the people of our region into prosperity. So let this be the foundation as we cultivate connections that strengthen and enrich each other. Let it be the launchpad for prosperity to become more than a dream, but a possibility for everybody. With mentorship and collaboration, let's grow enterprises that will become trees to the economy, resilient, vital resources will be in the future.
Former President Fidel V. Ramos, he owns the brand Fist, actually. It's not mine. During his time, it was his logo, actually. Kaya ba natin to? Kaya. That was his punchline. And indeed, we succeeded very well during his time. Foreign Minister of the ASEAN member states and the dialogue partners, Secretary Jose Roberto Martin Andanar and the other members of the Cabinet, distinguished members of the Diplomatic Corps, Asian Business Advisory Council Chair Jose Maria Concepcion III, pioneer mentors, saludo po ako din, of the ASEAN Mentorship for Entrepreneurs Network, honored guests, my countrymen. You know, this is my speech. I will read to do justice to the guy who labored the few sentences that he worked on maybe late last night. And after that, I will share with you my own thoughts. I am pleased to join you today as we open the ASEAN Business and Investment Summit and launch the ASEAN Mentors for Entrepreneurship Network. as an opportune time for government and business sectors, leaders across the region to come together. It is my hope that the ASEAN Mentors for Entrepreneurship Network would become a catalyst for inclusive prosperity that can be shared by all. Now, I would not bore you with so many words. It's the run of the mill speech of greeting everybody and practically saying nothing. During the plenary sessions of in Vietnam the other day, when my turn came to talk about my situations, and I said, this is a regional concern, and everything you guys said today are all here in my speech also. So I won't bother, but I was listening and I was very well educated this afternoon. That is all, because there's only one aim actually. What we do today for our world and our generation. I am one of those on the room for the estimated time of departure. And maybe our term in this world has long expired, but we are still here. You are the ones who have the warmth and enthusiasm to do what you can do for your country and for the world. You have all the data, and you know what ails the world today. What is the trouble with the economy? Suddenly, the digital age came to a fore and almost by surprise. Other nations went well, they were prepared. But most of the third world countries were not in a position to catch up as much. And so today, we realize that almost 85% of the world are run by SM. Hindi SM, iba yun? That's the shopping mall, the micro, small, and medium, actually. And taking together, it fuels the world economy. Except for the few things that really we spent the income of the world and the GDPs to build arms for destruction, everything or everybody else in the world was busy making a living. When globalization came, and suddenly it placed everybody in a very awkward position. Actually, the first country to be hit by the consequences of the growing globalization, the world village, was America. And its economy was the first to suffer when they went to China. Then Xiaoping opened the doors for cheap labor and everything else, including the minimal taxations. And today, China is the number one economic powerhouse. And we have to be friends. The other hotheads would like us to confront China and the rest of the world for so many issues. The South China Sea is better left untouched. Nobody can afford to go to war. Either the big powers, Russia, China, Britain, or the United States. It can ill afford a violent confrontation. It does not have the luxury of the option of war and violence. And my last bilateral, last night, and I had to wait for 2 hours because President Xi Jinping was busy with the other countries talking. We had the last appointment for him before I took off. And we agreed, and he agrees. And he said, if you are President Duterte, and you want to preserve the lives of the Filipinos, then as President of China, I want to save lives. I do not waste the lives of my countrymen for a useless war that cannot be won by anybody. He made it clear to us that the only way to go is cooperation. And so I would say that we should open our doors to everybody. Ideological conflicts are no longer in the vogue. It's a passé. We do not go about running this world in accordance to our, whether it is a pretended principle in life or just want to go the aggressor. And so today, I'd like to announce to the region, especially to the Filipinos, that we have had, it's going to be by the years, but we collected taxes, billions of taxes who were unpaid for many years. So I asked everybody's cold or warm? Yung aircon, baka nagtitipid tayo dito. Saving for the electric bills. So it's a good year. Next year, I would like to make some late changes in the GAA, the annual budget. I would like to pour more money on this medium, small, and micro industry. So, you guys, the small businessmen, maybe a few billions here and there would suffice. Well, talagang bubuhos ako ng capital because we found out in our meetings with APIC that the basic unit of the economy has always been moved by the MSMEs. So, as one who is really poor at economics, I'm told I'm a law graduate, I'm not an economist, and I remember failing the subject twice to take it in a summer course. But I have enough understanding of what is really practical for us all. The bulk of the money would go to the livelihood, less spending on, we will replenish but not that much. We are not interested in wars. I'd like to appeal to the revolutionaries to just simmer down and we'll talk. We will rebuild Marawi. I said we collected so much taxes. I was informed by my revenue officials that there's enough to start to lay the foundation of the city again. But for those who are not really, I will, so as not to repeat the kind of thing that we fought for about 4 months and at the expense of the lives of many people, Christians and Muslims alike. We get nothing. Nobody won that war, not government. We're able to kill how many? Terrorists and even. It does not promote peace in this world. We were just acting on a police punitive action. So, but most of the money will go to the poor and the medium, small and Siguro mag 50 billion each, okay na? How many 50 billion? Hindi, talaga totoo. I will review the budget with Secretary Joc, no? And maybe if I can add more, I'll ask Congress. May pera ho ako dyan on the Marawi. I prepared for this event because we realized in the regional meetings that the small guy down there contributes a lot to what is really happening before our eyes, and it's improving the economy. Philippines is doing well. It has been consistently improving since the time of President Ramos, and we have maintained this 6.1. So hopefully by 2030, I can assure every Filipino, I never promised a paradise for us. I know how hard it is really to fix the economy. But what I promised you, and even during the campaigns, is I will just make the life of the Filipino comfortable. That is all that I can afford. Thank you.
Thank you very much, President Rodrigo Roa Duterte. Thank you very much to our ASEAN-backed Chairman, Jose Maria Concepcion III, and the ASEAN Business Advisory Council chairs. Through the ASEAN Mentorship for Entrepreneurs Network, we will sow years of business experience, unique expertise, and the homegrown insights so that our entrepreneurs can cultivate rich ideas into strong and sturdy.
I've been put to task for just calling the attention of the public, even the media. I've been trained to do this way. You don't know the name, and they say that it's a wolf's. It's one of the things that I want. But I want to meet everybody, especially the ladies. These guards are pushing them back. I've always told them consistently, if it's a beautiful young woman, do not bar her. Total, ang hiningi ko lang naman, biso-biso lang, nothing on the front. So if you want to have a picture, fine. But never mind, the guards will push you back. I'll pull you in, and we can have the pictures. But may bayad, nothing comes free in this world.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, the President, President Rodrigo Roa Duterte. And through the ASEAN Mentorship for Entrepreneurs Network, we will sow years of business experience, unique expertise, and homegrown insights so that our entrepreneurs can cultivate rich ideas into strong and sturdy businesses, all to make flourishing industries that will reach for the skies. A round of applause again for the ASEAN Business Advisory Council chairs.